For 47 years, the man who murdered 17-year-old Carla Walker lived just 1 mile from her family, and nobody suspected a thing until discarded McDonald's straw and a single drop of DNA exposed the killer hiding in plain sight. Carla Walker was 17 years old, a junior in high school with a smile that could light up any room. Her boyfriend, Rodney McCoy, was a varsity quarterback who had given her a promise ring. In 1974 Fort Worth, February 16th, Carla and Rodney dressed for the Valentine's dance. She was irritated because he was late with her corsage, but soon they were posing for pictures. Her parents waved goodbye. No one knew that would be the last time they would ever see her alive. That night, everything changed. Rodney and Carla went to dinner, then the dance, then went cruising with another couple. Around midnight, the other couple had a curfew, so Rodney dropped them off. He took Carla to a fast food place, then to the Ridgely bowling alley so she could use the restroom. They came back to the car. Carla leaned against her door. They were kissing, doing what high school couples do. Then the driver's side door ripped open. A man grabbed Carla with one hand and raised the gun to Rodney's head. The trigger clicked, but the gun jammed. So the attacker beat Rodney with the pistol instead, over and over. As Rodney lost consciousness, Carla screamed for help. She told the man to leave Rodney alone. Then everything went black. When Rodney woke up, Carla was gone. He stumbled around a parking lot, but there was no sign of her or the attacker. Blood poured down his face. He got into his car and drove straight to the Walker home. At 1:30 a.m., he slammed on the brakes, ran to the front door, and pounded until Mr. Walker opened it. Mr. Walker, they got her. They're going to hurt her bad. Mr. Walker ran outside into the dark streets, searching for half an hour. He found nothing. Police arrived. Rodney was sent to the hospital. The Walker home became a command center. Volunteers spread out across the county. 4 days later, on February 20th, officers checking culverts along Benbrook Lake went down into a concrete drainage pipe. Halfway through, in the cold February darkness, they found Carla Walker's body. She had been strangled. Her clothing was torn. A promise ring lay in the dirt beside her, the same ring Rodney had given her. A news reporter came to the Walker home and asked Mr. and Mrs. Walker for a comment now that their daughter's body had been found. That was the first time Carla's brother ever saw his father cry. The community changed overnight. Parents started locking doors they used to leave open. Teenagers stopped going out alone. Everyone called Carla's attacker the bad guy, but no one knew who he was. Do you think you could live for decades not knowing if your daughter's killer lived next door? Police followed every lead. They knew the attacker used a Ruger .22 because they found a magazine at the scene. They got a list of every Ruger owner in the area. Everyone produced their weapon except one man. He said his gun had been stolen weeks before Carla's abduction. He even bought a new magazine shortly after. He was arrested, passed a polygraph, and released. In 1977, another man confessed from a Tennessee jail, but his story didn't match. Have you ever had a feeling that the truth was right in front of you but out of reach? The case went cold for decades. In 1979, Carla's brother Jim sat inside that same cattle culvert with a hammer and a flashlight, waiting for the killer to return. No one came. Then, in 2009, DNA from Carla's dress gave a partial profile. No match in Cody's. In 2019, detectives reopened 4 boxes of files, listing 85 suspects. Still no match. They tried genetic genealogy. Almost all the DNA was consumed. No results. They had one last degraded sample. A lab called Othram took the challenge. Dr. Kristen Middleman received a drop of male DNA from Carla's bra strap, more than 10 times less than what other labs had failed with. Every other lab said it was unusable. 5 weeks later, on a Saturday morning, an analyst called a family name, McCurley. Detective Jeff Bennett grabbed his binder. Suspect number 22, Glenn McCurley. But the genealogy pointed to an older Glenn who died in 1972. Then they discovered Glenn McCurley had a son, Glenn Jr., living in Fort Worth in 1974. Glenn McCurley Jr. had been interviewed back then. He said his Ruger .22 was stolen. He passed a polygraph. Now detectives did a trash run at his home. A McDonald straw matched the DNA from Carla's bra. They went to his house. He cracked jokes, acted friendly. He agreed to a cheek swab. A week later, the results came back. A perfect match. Arrested and interviewed. He denied everything for over an hour. Then the detective asked, "How did you kill her?" He looked down. "I guess choke." He confessed to strangling and raping Carla Walker. He led police to the gun wrapped in a towel, hidden above a ceiling. He had moved it from house to house for 46 years. In 2021, he pleaded guilty and received life in prison. Carla's brother Jim told him, "I forgive you, but I never forgot." The promise ring was returned to Rodney. He said he felt healed. But here is the hardest part. Glenn McCurley lived just 1 mile from the Walker family for 47 years. His wife ran a church daycare. Everyone thought he was a wonderful man. What would you do if you learned your neighbor was a killer? 2 years into his sentence, McCurley died in prison at age 78. Carla was only 17. Her family's fight led to the Carla Walker Act, funding forensic genetic genealogy nationwide. When asked what he would say to his sister, Jim replied, "I'm sorry this happened to you, but we never gave up." The bad guy lived in their backyard. Science finally found him, and a family's love made sure he could not hide forever.